Hi folks, this is my video log on Friday the 24th of October 2014 and I am Karl-James Langford. I thought today, instead of sort of talking about general bits and pieces, what we'll do is talk about something very constructive. Well, my video logs usually are. I've been going really well the past few weeks and I really thank everybody for continuing watching my video logs. Viewer figures are up and more subscribers. It's not about the viewer figures and it's not about the subscribers, but it's about communication. It's about my way of communicating instead of being on social media, which can be very destructive at times, getting involved in silly arguments and so on. So I've decided that we'll look at the series Detectorists. Now, those that know my career in archaeology I will say this now, I am very anti-metal detecting. I don't feel that there's a need for metal detecting. I don't feel that archaeologists and museums need the artifacts that they're finding because we just have so much stuff to study. But before anyone comments on that and before anyone puts anything to criticize that, please don't do that, simply because I'm just giving my take on this. So I'm going to try and be as unbiased as possible looking at the series Detectorists. So if you're going to criticize me, folks, criticize me on my thoughts about the series Detectorists and please nothing else. Let's be sensible about this. So we've had Time Team, whatever your thoughts on that are. We've had various series very recently. We've had Coast that covers archaeology. We've got various looks at the Vikings recently, and so on and so on. But Time Team comes on top of the pile. This series, The Detectorists, was a departure from all that. It was simply looking, and it is simply looking at detectoring. Metal detector enthusiasts. And I'm not going to try and put any sort of political message in there. I just want to look at this. Detectorists, a comedy series in 6 parts. We're up to episode 5 and it's in 6 parts, so it looks like it's a pilot series. There's been a great deal of criticism about it, and sometimes I have read that criticism and I don't understand why. It is a comedy. It's on BBC 4 and it's been broadcast since the 2nd of October. And with being a comedy, as watching it, I felt that it's going to be a complete, mind my French, piss take of metal detecting. But it's also going to be a piss take of archaeology. What's come across is it's actually come across some relatively serious issues, but using the comedy narrative. Mackenzie Crook, for example, Andy in it. Mackenzie has done a number of comedy roles over the years. There's Toby Lance as well, who's been seen to be, in his own right, comedy characters. Now, Mackenzie Crook playing Andy, Toby Jones playing Lance are the 2 main characters in it. And they're basically members of the local detector club, which has only 7 members. Well, actually, there's a lot more than that when you look at it. And they're basically involved in this club, and they always want to go out and find their big find. And the first episode looked at Andy and Lance, who meet Sophie. Now, Sophie is played by Amy Fionn Edwards, and Sophie's the typical university archaeology type of student. And they meet Sophie and become aware, both of them, all 3 of them, work together and become aware of a nearby legendary boat of an Anglo-Saxon leader. Now, the land itself is owned by Larry Bishop, David Stern, who plays a brilliant character. And this guy, David Stern, who's playing Larry Bishop, people think that he buried his wife on the land because she suddenly disappeared sometime, and he's a bit of a nutty character with invisible dogs, and that sort of met the series, and the Andy and Lance played the bumbling typical metal detect enthusiasts, wearing sort of camouflage gear with their detectors. Don't take any of this the wrong way, what I've just said, because that's how they're portraying it. And I thought it'd just be a complete Mickey taking metal detecting, doing everything that professional archaeologists would see metal detect enthusiasts do, getting things wrong, getting things right, and all the rest of it. But it had that nuance, and I thought the nuance was good. The Mickey take was that they would be metal detecting and find little cars and so on, and throughout they would find little bits of money and so on. Modern money, ring pulls and all that type of stuff. And that was it. The episode 1 was very funny in showing that very nutty landowners, and a very nutty landowners are the same landowners that everyone comes across when they want to come across their land. The typical guy with a shotgun as a farmer, stereotypical. And then Andy and Lance go in episode 2, and they start exploring Larry Bishop's land, and he's basically completely mad. Absolutely completely mad. And suddenly a group of other metal detect enthusiasts come into it. And I've just got to remember their name. The other group of metal detect enthusiasts, the Antiqua Searchers. And there's Paul Kazar, who plays Paul, and Simon Farnaby, who look like Simon and Garfunkel characters. And one of them you'll find in Horrible Histories. And they come up as the rival metal detecting group, and they're the typical. You see the two factions in normal life between yin and yang, positive and negative. One nutty metal detecting group and two guys just in a field metal detecting, trying to find things. Okay, trying to make their fortune. And what you do see in the first 2 episodes is little nuances. Okay, trying to keep things from the other club, the other group. It's our find, and we're going to keep these things and declare things at the last minute. All that type of stuff. All that type of political, nuancial stuff. That both, yeah, if you want to be critical of this afterwards, you can say, yeah, archaeologists keep their finds to keep them to themselves so nobody else goes into the field. Yes, that's true. And this isn't a battle looking at the series between archaeology and metal detecting. It's looking at that nuance. And there's the metal detecting club meetings. Andy and Lance, in episode 3, want the help of Terry. Now, Terry himself, let's look at his character. The guy who plays Terry is Gerald Horan, who's also a great comedian in his own right, who runs a local metal detecting club. And at the end of episode 3, what we basically see is that Terry gets blown up by a bomb in the field that he finds in the field of the nutty landowner, David Stern, who plays Larry Bishop. And they find a bomb in there, and then that's it. But Terry isn't killed, so we go into episode 3, and then there's the pub quiz, and then you actually start to see that Becky, who actually plays Becky, who's Andy's girlfriend, who's played by Rachel Sterling, and I think she's actually a very straight character in it. She finds out to be pregnant. Anyway, go into episode 4, and then a piece of gold is actually found, and what happens is there's a falling out between Andy and Lance because that piece of gold found by Mackenzie Crook, who also wants to be a wannabe archaeologist. He basically goes metal detecting with Sophie, Amy Fionn Edwards, and Becky, Andy's girlfriend, played by Rachel Sterling, thinks that there's an affair going on. The rival metal detect enthusiast group takes a photograph of Andy and Becky kissing in the field because Andy finds a piece of gold. Okay, and then we get to the end of we get to the end of the episode episode 4, okay, gets to the end of episode 4, and photographs are left at the door of Andy and Becky's house. Becky looks at the images of Sophie and Andy kissing. Becky hasn't told Andy about her being pregnant, and there's actually a moment in it where I think it's actually really cute. I really, if I ever get to act that type of scene where Becky comes into the room, cuddles up to Andy, just about to tell him that she's pregnant. Suddenly, somebody rings the bell, photographs on the doorstep. Becky sees the photographs, and her life collapses because she definitely thinks that Andy and let me get the name, Sophie, are actually having an affair. And she storms out. So then we go into episode 5. So I'm really looking forward to seeing episode 5. So, okay, we've said all that. You can obviously see lots of this on iPlayer, and I would say that it's if you take the piss take of metal detecting out of it, I would say it's a very good comedy piece, and there's lots of stuff in there that really want you to see more, and it's not just about metal detecting. And if you look at it, yeah, the facts of the series are as follows. 1, I see that metal detecting and archaeologists, yes, are very much like the characters being portrayed and illustrated in the series. Yes, it is about going into a field, whether you're a metal detector or an archaeologist, trying to find something. When you find something, you have that buzz. Do you declare it straight away? Archaeologists can think the same. Do you keep the find from other individuals until you found something very important? And at no point, and that this is an important point, folks, and I'm going to admit this about the series, at no point is anyone saying that metal detecting enthusiasts are bent, twisted and corrupt. And that's not being said. That's not being seen. What it is just being seen. These guys are bumbling. Okay? It's just as if anyone would go fishing, bumbling with their rod and snapping it. And somebody actually commented that sorry. Somebody actually commented that the Detectorists are at times like 1 or 2 of the walks that I've actually led for Archaeology Cymru. So that says it all. Wandering around, bumbling, enjoying what's going on. And I think that's what the series is about. It's not a direct attack on metal detecting at all. It's something fun. Yeah, okay, in my years I have been to presented talks at various metal detecting clubs. And some of the characters in those metal detecting clubs are exactly like the guys in the series Detectorists. But then again, if they made a similar parody series about archaeology, I would be saying exactly the same thing. So this is not an attack to anyone who's a metal detecting enthusiast out there. Everyone's wearing high-vis gear, okay? And it's basically set, not high-vis gear, start again. Everybody in it is wearing camouflage gear, okay? They're all wearing their camouflage gear. Their green stuff and all the rest of it. And yeah, they do. Metal detecting enthusiasts do all wear that. And they say in one of the episodes that the reason why they wear it is so that they can blend into the environment and nobody can see them metal detecting. I know that's obvious, but yeah, that's probably the reason. Or do they wear it because they like fishermen wear it? It's like green and it's the type of thing that you wear in a field. I don't know. If anyone's gonna, please don't criticise. This is not meant to be a slag off of anybody. But if metal detecting enthusiasts are watching this, can you tell me why you wear the green camouflage gear? And let's have fun with this piece, please. Okay, this is Karl-James Langford. Looking forward to episode 5 and 6. And maybe report on it more. And hopefully there'll be another series, folks. Thank you very much. Light-hearted video log.